Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gotham City Tonight. Hey there, everyone out in Gotham. I am Lexi, and I've got Ryan here. And tonight, we are going to address some pretty exciting things. There is no DC fandom this year, but there is New York Comic Con. And it seems like DC is going to be kind of making that their fandom in a way. But hello, everyone in the chat. Flash, Ryan, Steven, Gotham Stalker, Wicked. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. The news dropped this week. DC did not show at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Nowhere to be seen in San Diego, the biggest convention and the biggest magnet of media you could ever imagine it being. But they're going to the second biggest one as far as conventions are concerned in North America. That's New York City Comic-Con.
And can I make a guess about that?
Yeah.
I feel like Marvel has really taken over San Diego Comic-Con. And I think DC doesn't want to compete. I think they're going to say, you know what? Marvel is San Diego and DC is New York.
I used to think that, but then the San Diego Comic-Con 2019, was there hang on, what year was there a D23? Was it that
2019.
year?
Yeah.
Marvel pulled out from San Diego Comic-Con. So it was nothing but DC and Hall H.
But that was the before times.
That's the before times. That's the before
Nothing is the same as the before times, Ryan.
We are now living in that was Warner Brothers AT&T. We are now living in a Warner Brothers Discovery era.
Exactly. No, but for real, this is the Batgirl got scrapped and will never see the light of day era. Like we can't go back to 2019 with DC anymore and say, oh, here's their pattern of behavior. They're feral now.
Yes. Hang on. And then DC moved their office to the West Coast. Yeah, you know what? I've been to that office. It's a beautiful office. It is beautiful. I should see if we can get us both there when we both go to D23 in a couple of years. Well,
not that we're going to talk about D23 this episode. No, we're here to talk about Cars, the trilogy.
That's right. and all the shorts that came along with it.
All the shorts, Cars Land. This is now a Cars podcast. So I hope you all are really into Lightning McQueen.
Well, Lightning McQueen's about to have a friend, so let's drop into DC at New York City Comic-Con, which I think you mentioned this right at the start. This looks like it's going to be their fandom. They only had fandom to begin with because of COVID and everything closing, and no conventions.
Right.
Because I think even at that time too, I think the convention center was used as a hospital, so that it was not happening.
But I liked the virtual fandom they did. I thought it was awesome.
It was so much fun to watch, and I loved all the things they released for it, and just like they were going back and they were like, here, let's do a behind the scenes about the costumes on Batman and 89 and Returns.
Yeah.
And they were talking about animation, and they were talking about just everything. They had interviews with people. Oh man, I love
fantastic.
fandom.
Me too.
I loved it. And I really find it kind of unfortunate that we're kind of going back to, like, I think conventions should still have all these panels and main stages and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That's a huge staple. I never want conventions to lose that, even though it seems like Marvel and DC, they both now do less and less conventions. They kind of just pick their big ones and leave it at that. So, but that's here nor there. That's a complaint and a rant for another episode. Let's be happy that DC is doing a convention at all. And so they released a whole press statement. Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery. So I guess what they're doing is they're going to be, this is their highlights. The highlights are included here. So they're bringing Discovery Plus. Look at, they're not even calling it Warner Brothers. Discovery Plus brings fans on a journey of the supernatural with Ghost Brothers. They're doing a whole thing on supervillains and superheroes of Gotham City. Yes, it's called a Gotham City panel. It has nothing to do with us, unfortunately. They're doing an animation one, which is what is that? I know they're getting Gendy in, but they're doing a whole thing with Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. That's what that is. I almost kind of completely forgot. And they're doing just they're debuting a lot of stuff. I don't know if your list is the same list as mine there, Lexi. But I'll quickly kind of scroll through the stuff that's not heavily DC, but still kind of cool. It looks like we're going to get our first sneak peek, and they're going to show the first episode of Velma, the adult-oriented show of Scooby-Doo. Do you have any thoughts on an adult-oriented Scooby-Doo?
They just better make it real clear somewhere in that intro screen, that, you know, the theme song, somewhere that it's the for adults version.
Yeah.
You know, the last thing you want is some poor parent or kid flipping through TV, seeing it on the DVD rack. And
well, it's not called Scooby-Doo. It's just called Velma.
Yeah. But I feel like anyone that's not like acting, and like, let's be clear, I'm still a believer that like it's on parents to like check what you're grabbing. But depending on the animation style and everything, I would be much more understanding to a parent that saw Velma thinking it's some cute little Scooby spinoff and grabbing it or watching it with their kid.
Right. I did. Yeah. I remember seeing the first just artwork for it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like parents can easily just like, and this is just a thing. This is a society problem that we have. And that is that everyone still thinks cartoons are for kids. They are not.
They're not, but Scooby-Doo is. And that's the difference.
But so people could say the same thing about Harley. And what I'm kind of hoping is that we're getting a Velma Harley Quinn crossover at some point, with both of these being Warner Brothers, and that Velma, or the Scooby-Doo comics are published by DC. So fingers crossed. Yeah.
I do feel like the difference though is like, because we talked about Harley so much lately, like from her creation, like yes, she was kind of part of a kid's show, but she was always more adult. She was sexy. She was making adult references. You go into the comics where her stuff was dark. The live action movies are definitely not for kids. I feel like we are definitely at a point where Harley and anything Batman, really, parents already know like it's not necessarily for kids.
Right.
Scooby-Doo has always been, even the live action Scooby-Doo movie was still like, you know, a little on that line, but it wasn't like rated R.
Yeah, I think it even starts with the implying of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy smoking weed in the van, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does like it takes it features, it takes the more implications, but it's not like, you know, adult.
God,
it's the things where like you have to be old enough to get it.
Yes.
They towed that line really well. I'm not against it, to be clear. I'm not against Velma being an adult show. I don't know. I feel like I don't need every kid thing to have an adult version.
Yeah, we don't need an adult spin on it.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I don't think everything does, but I am willing to give this a chance, because I even think Matthew Lillard's coming back. I think Matthew Lillard now officially does the voice for Shaggy for everything.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is actually pretty cool that he's kind of just taken that and just kind of owned it.
Well, it's so easy to do with voice actors compared to like live action, to like have that official voice for a character kind of across the board.
Right. And he nailed it too. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're bringing back I can't say it today. Aqua Teen Forever, which is going to be a new thing of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I think has to do with the Adult Swim anniversary that's supposed to be this year. I'm going to let you talk about this one. This announcement is the reason why you should be at New York City Comic Con. I mean, you did publicity for them. I don't understand why you're not going. So talk about this screening that they're going to do. And
it's going to be Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons. I am so excited for this movie. I like cannot put it into words. I don't know if it's actually like, I'm going to be like Jacqueline was last week or last episode, whatever it was, with Joker 2, where I'm like, this is my favorite movie. It's not out yet, but this is my favorite movie.
Right.
I am just so hyped for it because, again, and I don't want to speak for DC Comics, but the observation that I would make is pretty much anything that John Kent and Damian Wayne have been in since Super Sons, outside of that main DC comic book canon, has reverted back to a young John, best friends with Damian story for those characters. Or even if they're older, it's kind of goes back to their stories go together. I think that maybe someone with power realized that splitting them up so dramatically and so aggressively and like separating their stories was a mistake.
Yeah, we maybe. Yeah.
Because everything they have done since then has kind of backtracked on that. So this was one of the big ones. Superman and Batman Battle of the Super Sons. It is going to be a help me because every single week I have to forget the name of something that we all know the name to. The mind controlling starfish alien.
Starro.
Starro. Wow, could have guessed that one. Next time, I'm just gonna go for it and see if I get it right. I forget that these things are named this way. But Starro, it looks like, is going to take control of the Justice League to include Superman and Batman. And we're going to get a young John Kent and Damian Wayne, where Damian is a foot shorter than John and a foot taller if you include his hair. The way he is animated in this, it is hilarious. And them having to team up to save their parents and the Justice League. And I am so excited for it because it looks goofy. It looks funny. It looks like another movie that maybe could kind of come back to that feeling of a kid could watch this. You know, I feel like there still might be like some adult humor in it, but it doesn't feel as nitty gritty comic true as some of our other animation we've gotten so far. And I just want to make it like clear, like this isn't just because I have a kid. Like this was me before. I really love when comics that were originally for kids still have moments that are accessible to kids, because that's where we all got to start, you know, as kids, reading these, watching these cartoons, seeing these things. And I just like having that accessibility for kids into comics. I think it's still really important. So I think this is going to be hilarious. The trailer that we've seen before has like, you know, them trying to talk, and you see Damian just chuck a boomerang at Clark's head, and Clark just takes it, and they're all just like, bruh. Like, it's going to be fantastic. Because it is. Young Damian and young John are just so much fun, so easy to market towards kids, yet still so entertaining for adults. Because again, their comic book run, I would not necessarily say was child friendly. It was closer than, you know, a Batman run, but even like the first few issues, that plotline, their villain, it was gory, it was bloody, there was, you know, death, blood, smushing, like it was there. And it was fantastic. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see how much DC is kind of going back and honoring like the original Super Sons. And yeah, I'll stop because I could do an entire episode on just the Super Sons, quite frankly.
Well, lucky for you, I think we should, because it comes out on digital and Blu-ray and all the combo packs, the whole bit, on October 7th. So if you want us to do a watch-along episode, leave a comment below, and you know what? Even if you don't leave a comment below, we're still going to do it. But please leave a comment below. Let us know what you think, and actually let us know what you think of the watch-alongs as well. Some people getting some good feedback on those, but still, let us know. They're doing a thing. Oh, well, I'm going to continue on here as we go through.
Please, yes.
They're going to do some Mortal Kombat stuff. Again, not really DC related, but we've seen DC characters pop up in the Mortal Kombat video games, namely the Joker, but they've put like you know, DC related costumes in the video games, that kind of stuff. Like I said, they're doing a thing for Cartoon Swim and Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, which I think is cool. They're doing a big thing for Doom Patrol, getting that ready. The cast is going to be there, including Firefly himself, Brendan Fraser, even though that's not who he plays in that show. But I'm sure he's going to get a lot of questions about it that weekend. I have no doubt about it. Also, they're prepping up for a new season of Titans. Again, they're bringing the cast there. Not sure what to expect.
Ryan, how do you feel about Titans in general? We've never
I like
really
the costumes a
discussed it.
lot. Like, it's weird. That's like let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it for a moment because it's a bit of a loaded question. I think the casting is pretty good. I don't have any
Mhm.
problems with the casting. I know at first I haven't. I don't think I've watched it since second season, but we're going to fourth. I could easily catch up if I wanted to. There's I kind of wish they had a little more budget for Beast Boy, so he
Yeah.
just wasn't the one animal they could afford. Uh, and I understand why that happens. Like, I get it. I totally understand how that happens, because if you take a look at that show, there's a lot of VFX in that show between Raven, Starfire, just the stunts, it's like the wires and stuff they got to clear out, all this stuff. There's so much going
Mhm.
on in these shows at any given time. So I understand why Beast Boy's probably like, holy crap, this is like crazy expensive. We can only do a tiger. Look, I get it. I liked Jason Todd. A little bummed out that they kind of rushed him into Red Hood right away.
He was young to be Red Hood. It seemed
Yeah,
like. Full disclosure, I never got past the first season. I was like you, where I gave it a chance because I loved the casting so much.
yep.
I was like, this looks cool. The
Mhm.
costumes look cool. Casting's great. I'm in. And I tried. I got like 4 episodes in, and even that was forcing myself. And then I had so many people, Ryan, so many people tell me, Lexi, if you get to like the last episode of season 3, then you'll enjoy the show. And I was like, why am I going to watch 2 full seasons that aren't good? I think it felt like one of those shows where they didn't capture the spirit of the comic. Like, you watch it and you're like, have you ever read a comic? Question mark. And that's the unfortunate part. The things that succeed are always the things where you watch it and go, oh, someone who loves the comics wrote this. Whether it's accurate to the comics or not, you can do something
Right.
different than the comics and still have the spirit.
Oh, well, Teen Titans Go. I'll always go back to Teen
Yeah,
Titans Go because it's just it's so weird.
it was the
And
Batman animated series of its. Well, Teen Titans, the original one, was the Batman animated series of its time. I
of
really
that
think that.
generation,
Yeah, that
absolutely.
generation.
Yep, absolutely. And Teen Titans Go, I understand where people got super mad because they wanted just more Teen Titans.
It was the
Especially when
back to back of it that set it up for that not failure, because it didn't fail,
it didn't
but that
fail.
backlash.
It was that knee jerk whiplash reaction. Because
Yeah,
it was exactly that. And I
because
totally
I
get where
had it at first too. I will totally admit that.
uh I see, because I've been there before when they went from Batman animated series to the Batman, where
Mm.
it looked like Jackie Chan Adventures, and I was just like, what? But we still got the Justice League. Like, why are we still why? Huh? Why are we just making more Batman? Right? Like, it just nothing was like, I was younger then, a little more naive, didn't quite understand how things worked, and I was just like it was kind of like because at that time too, I wasn't used to my favorite comics getting canceled, my favorite shows all of a sudden taking a complete 180 in visuals and voice acting. I just wasn't used to that. So by the time Teen Titans Go happened after Teen Titans, I was like, oh yeah, okay, because this shit happens. So I was already like, okay, I'm cool with it. And I love Teen Titans Go like so
Yeah,
much, and I
I
love the
have grown to
movies.
love it. I've
Yeah.
grown as a person. I've made my peace. I've gone through my stages of grief. We're good now. Teen
Yeah.
Titans Go and I, we're good now.
You know what? It was the same thing with the Batman, the 2003 animated series. I want to
Mm,
think. I know I got some of the toys now because I couldn't help myself.
let me
Uh,
Google that.
it's they that show to me like once for some reason once kind of
2004.
2004. So once
Mhm.
second season started of that's when I was like, okay, I get it now. And then I went back and I bought like season 1 on DVD and got into it. Like it just took me a while, and it's just like it's okay. And so again, they took another like 180 turn after the Batman, went into Batman Brave and the Bold, right? It's just all this crazy stuff. We had Teen Titans happening, so much good DC animation. But
Yeah.
now it's like crazy. You get used to like the comics are always going to be Teen Titans comics or Titans comics. Teen Titans and
Mhm.
Titans, it's the difference between hanging out with 14-year-olds and 18-year-olds. That's what it is. Right? So the when you're going from Teen Titans Go again, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're doing a live action Titan show," and that first trailer, the fuck Batman, and everyone's like, "What?" Everyone's like losing their mind, and it's I can see where people again are just like maybe a little like I don't know, off put it by maybe some of like just I get it, and there has to be some sort of fun element to Titans. It doesn't matter how dark it goes or how serious you want it. Like I have read storylines like the what is it, the Judas Effect, Teen Titans, like George Perez stuff. Like it gets serious. They deal with some serious stuff, but the book is also fun. Same with Jeff Johns' run. I know he can be a little problematic nowadays. I'm not quite sure what the full story is on that, so I'm not really going to get into it. But his run on Teen Titans, when he kind of revigorated it, that was really good. Again, I think in the first storyline, Deathstroke shoots Impulse in the kneecaps, right? Like just to slow him down, right?
Yeah.
Dark stuff. However, the book was also had a lot of fun, endearing moments as well. And I think that's kind of what Titans was missing.
Yeah.
And I'm also with you as well. Like if you can't get into something after 4 episodes, you shouldn't have to wait 3 seasons or 12. Like I might even
just not that I can't do it.
Why should you?
I have ADHD. I can't do it. I hyperfixate or I'm moving on.
It's not even ADHD. I think it just comes down to I believe this with any show. It should things can be slow between episodes 2 and 5, but you have to capture your audience right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not able to do that, then maybe the show's just not for me. Maybe it's not for you. Because I know like people kept saying like, oh, Breaking Bad, it starts slow, but it picks up. And to me, I actually kind of felt like Breaking Bad picked up right away. Actually, same with Better Call Saul. To me, that felt like I was already like, I'm intrigued. What's going on? Right. So like, and I'm with you on this. Like I gave Titans a go for 2 seasons because I kind of kept getting myself excited about like something's going to happen. Dick Grayson's going to wear his Nightwing costume. It's going to happen. We're going to get Nightwing butt. Let's get it. Right. Yes. And, he did get like I said, everyone got cool costumes. I kind of am a little bummed out. Starfire never got like a costume.
Yeah. I really think that actress got shafted in a lot of ways that she did not deserve.
Oh yeah, I think it's called
and the way the character
racism?
didn't deserve. Yeah, clearly.
Right?
It was just but like I said,
absolutely
I love the casting. I mean, again, because she was a callback to the Starfire that we loved from the comics, the Amazonian, the big hair. That was the Starfire that I grew up with before the animated Teen Titans. Before she got, smaller and skinnier and sexier and her hair got straighter. In a lot of ways, kind of got whitewashed. I know, but then they did it in the comics too. But then they brought that energy to the comics as well.
Oh,
you look at the comics nowadays too, and they're doing it. She's a skinny little white bitch with straight long hair. She's orange, but she's white. Let's look at her. And they've definitely changed her so much. And so that casting was a nod to like OG comic Starfire, the way she was meant to be. And I think a lot of people missed that. And that was, as someone who loves Starfire with my entire soul, one of my favorite girls in comics, it broke my heart that I felt like a lot of people did not understand that. And I actually want to touch on some of these comics since we're on Titans, then we can touch on some other things coming out as well.
Sure.
But Ryan B says Titans fall apart with the writing. Had cool elements, but couldn't get through it. That's how I felt. And Stephen Lawrence, I thought this was interesting, said that you like Titans, but you have no attachment to the comics.
That probably does help.
So yeah, I am sincerely curious kind of there are other people who weren't into the comics that enjoyed the show and like what they liked about it. Because I do think for us, it's like, these are our characters and it's just not there. Teen Titans Go is hilarious. That's just a fact. Teen Titans Go to the movies, hilarious. It's like a modern Schoolhouse Rock. And it is. It's like you were saying, Ryan, Teen Titans Go, like, has these weirdly educational, adult, dark humor moments.
And good
underneath
songs.
all the cartooniness.
Yeah, and good songs. Like songs about waffles.
Yeah.
I love it. Give me more songs about food. I'm always down for that. And you know what's really funny is that like I always was kind of jokingly saying like, and this even goes like on our other show, like Toy Anxiety and stuff. And when Justice League, the movie came out, and I was like, I remember thinking partway through the movie, like the only thing that's gonna save this movie at this point is if Cyborg says "booyah," and then he said "booyah," but then it was like so like it was out of like it was not even out of context. It was like a wrong moment, and it was missing the energy.
It
like,
felt like they were sitting there going, "Oh shit, we didn't write booyah into the script. Quick, have him say it. Have him say it.
Have him say it for the kids, right? It'll be an Easter egg for the kids that are watching." And I was just like, and I remember just being like, that felt really forced and awkward. I
And
did
had
not
it been
like
a
that.
right moment, it could have been a fun Easter egg.
It could have been awesome.
Yeah.
But again, that's Justice League, the movie in a nutshell. As far as I'm concerned,
it could have been great. That's the tagline for the movie.
Can I tell you one of the best Easter eggs they ever put into one of the DC live action movies so far? Is they took Wonder Woman's infatuation with ice cream and they put it in the first Wonder Woman movie.
I did love that.
I loved it. I remember like before going into Wonder Woman, like, God, I hope they do the ice cream thing. I really hope they do it.
They would.
And I didn't think they would. And I kept thinking, there's no way they're going to do it. In the back of my head. So the moment she picked up the ice cream, I was like, oh my God. Because it just became a thing in the comics where they didn't explain where she got the ice cream. She would just all of a sudden be sitting there licking ice cream. I was just like, this is the best. I love small character moments like that in all my media. Okay.
Yeah, I will always love the first Wonder Woman movie. But yes, but that's old news. What's new news, Ryan?
I digress. I'm coming down a moment. Okay, Thursday panels include explore the DC Multiverse panel. DC and the world's greatest superheroes are home of the fans of the great superhero storytelling worldwide. The creative talent behind some of DC's most popular characters on hand to give behind-the-scenes details of their stories and how everything is headed towards huge events in the future. That's all they give us. They don't tell us who's going to be there, or you know what. It's pretty vague to me. This just seems like a creators panel, and they're going to talk about, you know, what might be coming down the pipeline on their end. I don't know who's going to be there. I actually haven't checked the list. I guess I should have done that. I probably could have made some like assumptions of like who's going to be there. That's okay. That same day, we're going to talk about this because this came to a shock to me, and this came as a shock to you apparently as well, because I didn't know this show actually existed. Pennyworth, the origin of Batman's butler. Yes, that is the real name. Screening. Here's what's the kicker.
Season 3 screening.
Season 3 premiering October 6th as a Max original begins after a 5-year time jump. The Civil War is over and the Cultural Revolution has changed the world for better or worse, ushering a new age of superheroes and supervillains. Okay.
We missed a lot.
Where are these first 2 seasons? Are they on HBO Max? Are they somewhere? I had no idea this show, like, I knew the show existed in the fact that it was coming. And I actually thought it was something new this year. I didn't realize we are going into a 3rd season of Batman's Butler at all.
I knew that we were past the 1st season. I thought maybe we were like, I thought that we had just finished the 1st season. I thought this would be like a premiere of the 2nd season. And I, again, full disclosure, have not seen a single episode of this show. Never going to pretend that I have. That description that you just read, I have so many. I'm sorry, the Civil War?
Like, what Civil War? I thought this was like 1960s.
Yeah, it's supposed to Civil War.
Yeah, he
It must have
forms a
been some kind of
security
like
company in
superhero
1960s
Civil War?
London with a young billionaire, Thomas Wayne, and his wife, Martha, before...
So what Civil War is it? I don't know. And then this idea that it's like heroes and villains, I don't know. I just thought that it was going to be less superhero, more spy drama.
Right. And for anyone who is like from across the ocean, and there's a civil war that perhaps we don't know about, being
I'm
North
so
American,
sorry.
and we only get educated on what our white dictators tell us we have to learn about. So if there is something that we are missing, please, if you're watching, let us know right now in the comment section, or just if you're watching this later, leave a comment. Please give us a little history lesson, because I am just as confused as you are. Because when I
It was
hear the
like
word Civil
official.
War, I think of
I
the
mean, we think
American
of
Civil War.
ours, we think of our history.
Right.
And,
Okay.
I definitely think of like other, because I know of, I'm Thai as well. So there are definitely other civil wars that I can think of, but none that Alfred Pennyworth would have been a part of in a non-problematic way. Uh, you
Right.
know,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm so with you on this. It's hosted by Entertainment Weekly, that one as well. So they're gonna make a big hullabaloo about it.
Ryan, do we need to watch Pennyworth?
Oh, I'll give it 4 episodes.
I bet I would like it more than Titans.
Oh, I bet something tells me you would. Okay, here we go. Ryan B. I thought Pennyworth was pretty good. Played on Showcase in Canada. The new name is dumb, though. Yes, the new name is... Maybe that's why I didn't know it existed for the first 2 seasons. Because it
Wait, was it
didn't...
not called Pennyworth?
Well, it was called Pennyworth, but it probably didn't come to my attention until it says Batman. So maybe I'm the reason.
Maybe that's why they're like, not enough people are putting 2 and 2 together here.
Oh my god!
Quick, throw
It's
Batman
my
on
fault.
there.
It's
Ryan,
my fault. I am
you're
so
the
sorry.
reason.
Oh gosh, fake fan. I'm definitely gonna go check that out though on Showcase. Because I got Crave and all that, so I'll definitely check. Thanks for the heads up on that, Ryan. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Watch Pennyworth in honor of the Queen.
Well, if you feel like that.
If that if that's what you want to do, go forth. All right, so now we're going into Friday. The big one there. Actually, there's a few big ones here. They're doing the Batman, the Audio Adventures cast and producer panel. What I didn't realize is that they actually have a pretty big cast. So they got Jeffrey Wright, Seth Meyers, Chris Parnell, Rosario Dawson, Bobby Monahan. I can never say his name right, but I love him. I think he's like one of the funniest dudes. John Leguizamo. I apologize. I am like so white and I cannot pronounce that either. And more, lending their voices to bring thrilling and fantastical and sometimes comical stories of Gotham City to life. So,
Cool.
I have listened to a few of these because I am subscribed to the podcast, and I can't help but to love old radio stories. There is a you can even on iTunes, and or I don't know if it's called iTunes anymore. That's how old I am. Whatever it is, Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe to it on there. It's free. And on top of that, they also have the old Superman radio dramas from the 30s and 40s. They're all on there as well, including all the old advertisements. They didn't edit anything out of the old Superman ones. So if you love those old type of radio dramas like the Batman one, also look up the Superman ones, because that's also, again, that's where the 4 episodes of that is what Superman Smashes the Klan is based off of. And they even do an episode, I think it's like a 5 or 6-parter, where Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent team up. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's on both ends. Like for the Batman one and the Superman one. I keep going back to old stuff tonight. What is with me? But yeah, anyways, you could subscribe to both. They're all connected. That's true. But I think you can also get it on Spotify. The Batman radio dramas, the audio adventures. That's what it's. Sorry, I should make that clear. Batman, the audio adventures on Spotify. So I would definitely check that out. It's amazing. So it's great to have him background too. If you're just gonna be sitting there like cleaning your place, doing dishes, toss those on. Trust me, it's like you're doing somebody else's dishes. It's even better.
You get to be Alfred.
Yeah, you could be Pennyworth. How does that feel? And I'm sure he's fine. Actually, Pennyworth was a very good dad. Let's give him the heads up for that. The
He's
other
a good
panel
dad
they
to
have
all
there.
of the Robins too.
That's all of them. He did good. I'm glad that they're actually paying more attention to that now, and they're treating him more like a dad, and not a butler.
Yeah, like
these last
grandpa.
Yeah, right. Like I like that.
Mhm.
Also, on that Friday is the Jim Lee and Friends panel. The only thing we know, Jim Lee is going to be there. He's going to be
Hopefully.
he's going to be highlighting some of the incredible talent and showcasing some of the biggest books coming out of DC this year. This year, not much happening else this year because by the time this panel happens, there's 2 more months to the year. So, but regardless, it's a Jim Lee panel. Dude's iconic. I'm telling you, folks, if you're like big into comics, remember when Stan Lee used to do conventions and it was always like, you should go get something signed by Stan Lee because we don't know how much time he has left. Jim Lee's not that old, but I'm telling you now that
you're gonna want something.
you're gonna want something eventually. If you're a comic book fan, if you're new to comics or been with comics for like since he, for your, it doesn't matter how long. I'm just saying, don't hold off on seeing these people who have been so iconic to the industry. Do not wait, because life is short, and you're gonna end up, if something happens to him, or let's say he decides he's not going to do conventions again, you've missed out. So
and just for the record, we want a long and healthy life for Jim Lee.
Oh,
so if
yes.
something does happen, I just want to like make sure that we have alibis.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm not saying something. It doesn't even could be. I'm just saying, just in general, like he could just decide, like one day, like, you know what, I've had enough conventions. Like I can't do them no more. Right? You don't want to miss out on that. Jim Lee's great. I see the flash here says bring your Jim Lee books. I hear he signs randomly and doesn't charge. I missed my opportunity when DC had an event in Washington, D.C.
Oh, man.
Exactly my point.
Take your chances.
Take your chances, folks. And he's super nice guy, too. Like, I know they try to push the lines through because he does have such a long line, but he really does give you a moment and makes you feel welcome. And he's very appreciated to have his fans. So please go check him out. Saturday's only got one DC panel, but to me, this would be the one I would want to go to probably even more than the Jim Lee panel. And I think if I was going there, I would not miss this on Saturday. For the life of me, it is the DC's Superman panel.
Oh, that is not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh! No, that's not till Sunday. Well, we'll get to Sunday.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. This November is the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman. I don't know how I feel about that. At a moment when DC's Superman story is more dynamic than ever, writer Dan Jurgens, by the way, amazing writer, super nice guy. He's also an amazing artist. He's done so many iconic things to Superman. If you just look him up and went, holy crap, he did that too? Yeah, Dan Jurgens did that. He's great. Joshua Williamson will be there, Mark Russell, and Philip Kennedy Johnson. All of these they're currently working on big DC projects. Are joined by moderator Alex Gura, who is doing Superman Kal-El Returns, to share what's coming for the iconic hero in 2023. That's like at 1:45 in the afternoon on the Saturday of. Well, we know that DC is doing a huge, giant rollout of one-shots and tributes to the death and return of Superman.
Oh, I mean, some of the art that's already come out is just...
I know we talked about this early on in an episode, like on one of our first episodes too, where it was just like, there's some heart-wrenching artwork that's already been popping out on this, and
9
it's
times out of 10 with Ma and Pa Kent.
every time. Yes.
And sometimes Lois is included, but let's be real. Ma and Pa are the real tear jerkers.
And some stuff's very exciting too, because it's you know, they're gonna be we're gonna get lots of Superboy, we're gonna get lots of Steel, we're gonna get the return of probably Eradicator and Cyborg along the line, Cyborg Superman. Sorry, I should make that one very clear. Cyborg Superman, and I am very excited. And not just nostalgically, but because I love it when Superman gets a spotlight and he gets a time to shine. And so I really enjoy that. I'm really excited about it. And I think, we're going to start. And what I want to do for November is do a couple Superman animated series watch-alongs episodes.
Oh, no.
Including some of the old Max Fleischer stuff from the 1940s. Yeah, that's right. But but the good ones, not the ones during World.
Brian's like, I said that. The 1940s. Yeah, I said that.
And guess what? I'm also going to make sure they're not the second season, or the second season of 1940s cartoons where they take place in World War II. We're not going to pretend they didn't happen, but also we don't need to put a spotlight on it.
We're not going to give them airtime at the same time.
Yeah, right. So, but I do want to do some extra Superman stuff for November. Whether Lexi wants to or not, that's up to her. But
you know how I feel about Superman.
Yes, because that means we get to talk about Superboy as well, and we can talk about all the suns and all that.
And
so
just, when we talk, because nowadays when we talk about Superman, we're not necessarily talking about Clark Kent. Superman has been for the past year and 3 months since Pride 2021.
But who's counting?
I know. No, who's counting? It's been John Kent. Like when you say Superman, you are referring to John Kent, not Clark Kent anymore. Although, Return of Kal-El indicates that there might be some kind of a shift. People could have feelings about the fact the mantle went to John and Connor was basically
they could end up doing the
here, right?
Well, I think they could end up doing the Hawkeye Spider-Man thing, right? Where Miles and Peter are both Spider-Man. Yeah. Kate and Clint are both Hawkeye, right?
So, they could, but Superboy exists. And I mean, even though, and John Kent is still like 17, 18, like he could still be Superboy. He hasn't been back from, the nether reaches of space prison for more than like a year. He could probably use a little more time to adjust to being, on Earth and working with the Justice League and everything. But I also know I'm coming from a place where I just wanted things to slow down with John. But I do feel bad that a character like Connor exists and has existed for so long with such a strong fan base. And it's like he doesn't even get acknowledged. It also makes Clark look bad because he keeps being a terrible clone dad to Connor. Yeah. It's odd.
It is. I fully agree.
And I do think it comes back to a big part of the push to forcing John and not Connor into that role was because they would rather make John a newer character gay or bisexual than do it to Connor with his established fan base. It was easier, it was safer, and that's what they wanted to do.
You know what? As someone who like, I idolized Tim and Connor so much growing up that for my 16th birthday, I got a leather jacket. Oh. Right? Like, that's how much. And, the idea of making both of those characters bisexual, to me, even on a super hyper personal level, to me makes more sense. Not that like having Superman's son is a bad thing or a bad idea. But you're but now when you say it like that, and we talk about like how we've talked about this before with Tim and how when he came out, everyone was like, "Oh, of course," and I was all like,
"Yeah,
what? Wait, what did I miss?" And then you were like, "Well, the thing with Connor," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess now I can see it, right?" Because I'm reading it with straight eyes, so I'm not. I'm not.
But I think
seeing
that's
right
a big reason why they avoided making Connor bisexual, because then everyone would go, so Tim and Connor, and
Yeah, but
they
why not?
can't commit to that.
Ah,
DC cannot commit to a crossover super bat, because you'll notice pretty much every one of like DC's really iconic titular heroes has a significant other that's from within their own story.
yeah.
You know, Dick is consistently back with Babs. Tim has Bernard. Jason has question marks. You know, Damien has Flatline now, which I have opinions about that as well, but that's
Right.
not what this conversation is about. That could have been well done. I actually like Flatline as a character. I just think the way that the development was written was not there. It just wasn't there. But yeah, they couldn't, after they made Tim bi, they couldn't do it to Con. They wanted, you know, another like iconic title queer character. John didn't have the, you know, dedicated fan base to get mad, because they already knew they were going to make people mad with the Superman title going to someone gay, but they weren't going to do it to Clark.
Man, what is with that? I just don't.
It's so like when you look at why they choose who can come out and who can't, like it's very careful.
Well, on top of that too, I don't understand how Superman fans can get mad at, I don't know, anyone that's not like white and straight. Like, I just don't. That's the whole purpose of Superman existing in the first place, is to, I don't know, love and accept people for who they are. And I don't know. That's just that's a whole other conversation.
I know. It kind of comes back to, I think at the end of the day, a lot of these iconic male heroes, Batman, Superman, Captain America, any of them were designed to be a traditionally male power fantasy, which is not a bad thing. Like a lot of these characters are the fantasy. Like, I want to be Catwoman. You know, I want to be Wonder Woman. I want to be Starfire. You know, I love those characters because I do want to self-insert. I want to see myself. That's what I want to do. I want to be that cool in real life. Of course I do. So I think the problem is when you add these layers to those characters, now you takes away that self-insertion for some of these people, which should not matter, which you know, doesn't mean that representation doesn't get to exist. It doesn't mean we have to adhere to that. But I think that even if they won't admit it to themselves, that's where a lot of that fear and that aggression comes from. Was, well, Superman was mine, and if he's gay now, I don't get to be Superman.
That's not see.
I know, which is not how it works, but that's what's kind of going on in the hindbrain in a lot of this.
Yeah, I guess it's just I don't know. I think it's all, to me, it's about the message, the character, I don't know. The rest is just semantics as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's you know, I love being able to say, like, hey, you know, I can relate to Jon Stewart Green Lantern more than I can to Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and it's got nothing to do with race, it just happens to do with just sometimes personality, sometimes it's just about,
and when he's a well-written character, you should be able to, no matter what.
Well, he's a well-written character. It's kind of like, like you see the women in the Justice League he dates, and you're like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I see that.
Yes.
Right? Like,
wait, but yes.
You know, so it's you know, no one ever is going to fully relate to a character in these, ever. And as much as, like, I related to Tim and Superboy, like, you know, that Robin, that Superboy, like, those two characters are also two completely different characters in their own right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right? So I mean, you know, you take the bits you want, even if it's like, if you just like Batman because you think he looks cool, that's enough. You could still be a fan and still want to put yourself in that position. Nothing else has anything else to do with it.
Oh, I mean, as a kid, the entire reason I liked Selena was because she had dark hair and liked cats.
Yeah,
that was it.
That's enough.
I was like, I also have dark hair and like cats. Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was a cat for like 3 years straight for Halloween as a kid. I was like, my cousin like literally asked me at one point, I think I was like 10, and he was like, you're not going to grow up to be a crazy cat lady, right? Like, and I think I remember looking at him and I was like, well, I might. I just really like cats.
I have
So,
a cat.
that was the thing. And obviously now I appreciate her for much more extensive things.
Right.
But when I was a kid, that was it. I was like, she has dark hair and she likes cats.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I love that.
That was it. That was the bar.
That's enough for me. I want to get into the chat here because people were talking about comics, but we were
Yes.
talking about comics. Flash 739, bring your Jim Lee books. Oh, you already said that
Oh,
one.
yep.
That one I did because that was a very important one. Gotham Stalker. George Perez used to come to my local comic shop all the time, and when my son was little, he showed George some of his drawings, and George gave him some pointers. Priceless memories. Absolutely, and rest in peace, George Perez, because you hear nothing but good and nice, sweet things about that guy, and he would even walk the floor of Dragon Con because he's from Atlanta, right? So he would always have a booth there and stuff.
Oh.
That's how I met him. I missed him at his booth at Dragon Con when I went, and then I saw him on the floor, and he gave me some time of day.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was super nice. Oz, all for it. Do you remember collecting those issues? I can't remember which issues we were talking about, but yes. Yeah. Right? I think I got his autograph at two different conventions years ago. Seems like a happy dude. Yeah. He absolutely was. It's like yeah,
Connor is absolutely the Tim Drake of the super fam.
Yeah,
he does.
Absolutely.
He never gets the credit he deserves, which Tim, I feel like, is really having a resurgence. I think he's almost being treated better now than he did in his heyday, like his original run as Robin.
Oh, I don't know about that. Tim was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's not, I just mean in terms of like, yeah, no, he still kind of gets shafted on. I'm already thinking back to the panel from like just a few months ago where Red Hood was like, going at it with Nightwing and Tim as he does. And he like is saying something. He's like, I'm the whatever. He's like, oh, I'm like the cool or whatever. And he says Nightwing, like, you're just like the bubbly, like whatever one. And then Tim goes, what does that make me? And Red Hood's like, you're the boring one, then pushes Tim in front of a train. It's like, bruh.
oh,
ouch.
God. Rough. Growing up, I loved comics that emphasize the characters' love lives. Me too. That's why I'm a big X-Men fan. Considering that romance books were a category, do you two think there is room for a hero and
their significant other?
Without the superhero antics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Yep.
you could. Yeah, I mean, romance novels are a thing. Romance movies are a thing. Like, I actually was kind of the opposite. I was a lot less interested at any of the romantic subplots. Well, probably because, again, from a female perspective too, where I was sitting, a lot of the women were written like garbage, so I was just immediately less interested. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't just have a like spin-off series that's just, anyway, here's Clark and Lois like being cute for 5 issues.
Why not?
Or even going back to like their dating days, early days, but with focusing on like their dating as opposed to like everything else with their dating being on the side. Like, I'd read it, especially for Clark and Lois.
I would read that specifically if they came out with a Lois Lane comic again, and similar to what it was in the 60s without the freaking weirdness and like, because it's a weird book. Like, I know it's probably it's sexist in some moments considering the time it was made in the 60s. It can get, we've seen it. It doesn't, I'm not going to get into the problems of the Lois Lane comic. But what I'm saying
You'll be shocked to hear I don't read a lot of older stuff that tried to feature female characters. Unless it comes with a glowing recommendation.
I mostly get Lois Lane comics, the old ones, for the covers. Because it's like her getting turned into a centaur and being like, oh, Superman won't love me now. And I'm just like, yeah. And it's like, because they have like different variations of her. There's only like 5 covers to a Lois Lane comic. It's her marrying somebody else and Clark's upset. It's Superman getting married to somebody else and she's upset. It's Lois Lane trying to kill Superman, or Superman trying to kill Lois, or she's transformed into a hideous monster.
There's also Superman saving Lois.
Yeah, but see, yes, and they're dating in this. However, like, because there's all this weird, wacky, crazy stuff, I think I would love nothing more like what you just said. Like
I think that'd be cute. I'm all
a
here for that.
cute, fun story of
Or
Lois.
where we got the Bat Cat Elseworld spinoff where they actually do get married.
Right.
Like, that was really lovely.
But even with Lois Lane, like you could still have the fun, like not quite the superhero antics that are like crazy
Like
and
their
out
background antics.
yeah, like they're because it's like because it's their early days of dating. He wouldn't have
It's from
told
her
her.
perspective.
Yeah, right. Well, I'd love it from her perspective because it would be
Right? How
it
cute
would
would
be
that be? It's her figuring it out. And
it's her
being like,
figuring it
why is
out.
Clark late again? Yeah, sorry.
Why is Clark
I
late?
love Clark and Lois.
Did Clark just like and it would be Clark being like, "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom." And then that's when she looks out the window and like, "There's a story." But it's like and her being like it's like the whole kind of like Batman Vicky Vale thing too where it's like sorry, I shouldn't even use Vicky Vale. It would be Batman Catwoman from Batman Returns when he tells Alfred like, "Tell her this," and then she's trying to leave and she's like, "Oh, tell Bruce this." But they're both going to the same place in costume, and it would be kind of like the same thing. I would love to see more of that.
Yeah, I think
give me
fun.
one of Dick Grayson and just give me one of Dick Grayson dating different people and it never working out. Give me a series.
I mean, that's just a Nightwing comic. I mean, until recently. But...
Yep. Okay, fair enough. I guess I could just go back and read my old Nightwing comics. That's totally fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. I have nothing else to even say to that. Wally and Iris.
We got a lot of comments going, but we do have 4 minutes left, and we haven't gotten to my second favorite panel.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Comic-Con yet. Can we please touch on it?
We're gonna go through these panels. We're gonna then go through these comments because you guys are doing some great comments.
Okay.
We need to do more talk. We need to talk about romance more often in comics. That's what I'm learning from this. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sunday it starts off with the DC's Gotham City panel. That's not us. I apologize. That is not us. However, I am hoping next year or 2024 that it will be us hosting DC's Gotham City panel at New York City Comic Con. And last but not least, we preluded to this at the beginning of the show, talking about Cars. We were hinting at Cars and how great Cars is. And we're not just talking about like Cars. We're talking about Disney's Cars, Carland, Lightning McQueen, all that fun stuff. What is that called? Interstate 6? Interstate 60?
Route 66?
Route 66. Thank you. We're not talking about that, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, but we're talking about something very close and very similar and very Batman. It is called Bat Wheels.
If none of you have ever heard of Bat Wheels, please let me introduce you because I discovered Bat Wheels like when they first announced it, and then I forgot about it. I had a moment. I was like, that's crazy. That's not real. That's stupid. And I forgot about it. And I have read it like every time this comes back up, I like get the joy of rediscovering it, remembering that it's real and having to like make peace with it all over again. So I decided to land on, I am excited about this and I refuse to hate on it anymore. So today we're going to hype up Bat Wheels because I had less nice things to say the first time I heard about it. Bat Wheels, it's just cars, but it's Batman. Like there's nothing else to describe.
Hold up. So actual like Batman, Robin, and Batgirl are also in this?
Like, it's not like it's the Batmobile in place of Batman. It's like the Batmobile that Batman goes inside of.
I don't know.
But it's
okay.
So here's the thing. I don't know if this is like a Toy Story situation where they don't know they're alive, or if they're like friends. It's like a Transformers thing instead, where you just kind of like ride in your friend's skull and it's cool. We're at peace with it. I don't know.
Okay.
But I cannot.
So I got another question. Is that a street cleaner?
Unclear.
Okay. And that's not Lightning McQueen in the red.
Also unclear. He might do a cameo. No, I don't think it is Lightning.
Do you remember
McQueen.
Tim Drake's car?
No.
His red car? God. I got a feeling it might be that. I got a feeling it might be Tim's old car, or they're just gonna do a Robin car, a generic Robin car.
So we have, because I got the IMB. So there's Snowy the snow crawler is here.
Okay.
The Bat computer.
I was kind of hoping it was gonna be Batty the Batmobile, Snowy the snowplow,
Batgirl's motorcycle. I don't know if it gets a name or not. Batcycle. But yeah, so we've got some interesting
there it is.
credits on here.
The Redbird. That's what Tim's car was called.
There you go. So yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up in the world of Batwheels.
Mattel has to be making Hot Wheels Batwheels. Right?
Like required legally. I think.
Gosh. I'm watching it now. I have to watch it now.
Watch along.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Ryan's over here like, we're going to go back to the 1940s Superman animated. And I'm like, have you heard of Batwheels?
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting into Batwheels. Okay, I want to get into some of these comments about characters dating. And then we'll do a quick, we'll do our final words of the night, and we'll say our goodnights and all that. John Yerkeba, welcome to the show. John Yerkeba, thank you for popping in. I really liked Marvel's Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. Definitely some action-y moments in it, but they were sparse. One of my favorite books, though. And he continues, I'd love a Lois and Clark equivalent of Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane.
It'd be cute.
I'm with you, John. I'm with you. I'm a sucker for. I love romance in my stuff. I'm not a big fan of romance in my real life, but I definitely want it in my comic books.
I like it when it's written well, but it has to be written well, or it grates on me.
Right. Bacon McShig. I finally get to say your name. That makes me really happy because I really love that name. I feel like they just need to stop trying to make Tim into another Nightwing. Go the other direction. Play up his detective side. I'm totally with you on this.
Yes,
have him understudy with The Question or Martian Manhunter for a bit. Dude!
Martian Manhunter? That'd be wicked. Manhunter
or The Question? Like, it doesn't even matter which question. Even if it's Montoya. Yes! Because she's a detective. Like, they're both... Cool. Oh, dude. That is one of the best things I've ever heard. You're hired.
When Ryan and I run DC, you're hired.
Yeah, you're hired. We're gonna. it'll be great. Okay, Oz. I have enjoyed some of the better detailed romance story arcs. Most of them thrown together. I love the drama with Black Cat and Spider-Man. Yeah.
They just need to be done well.
Yep, I absolutely agree. I wish they had a Wally West and Linda Park series called The Speed of Love.
Or Speed Dating.
Oh! Have you been, like, staring at that? And then, like, you were, like, waiting?
Listen, like, I am the Dick Grayson of our Bat fam. Puns, they speak to me. They come to me. I love
them. Damn. Speed Dating is perfect. Damn. I really want that.
Thank you.
Yes. See? Okay. See? As Canadian Ryans, we love our 1940s Lois Lanes. We love them. Well, John, dude, I would buy the crap out of like the Flash just said, which is, what did he say? He said, now I want McFarlane 2-packs of famous couples.
But
do you know what I want?
But then because then there's the question of, like, I mean, not for, like, Clark and Lois, obviously. Some are just set. But, like, for Bruce, is it just, like, him and the Bat computer?
Well, seeing as McFarlane only makes Batman, it'll be Batman and then just a different woman in every pack. That's all.
And then one that's, like, Batman and Ghostmaker, but they call it Super Friends instead.
They call it Batmates, because they're just roommates.
Bat Bros. They were roommates.
It's like Owen Wilson driving Lightning McQueen. That's wow. Wow, it's me driving a race car. Wow. That'd be great. Oh God, I've turned into my friend Craig doing impressions on the show. Please don't let me. Okay.
Do it.
At Flash, as much as I like Todd because I hung out with him at several conventions. Sadly, that man doesn't do enough females in his lines. He's gotten better, but could still amp it up more. Yep, that goes with everything in general. There can always be more women, just in general.
Maybe they should do a Batgirl movie.
Wacko as the Penguin. Yes. Because of the voice actors.
Yeah, for Batwheels.
Oh my God. Yes, please. I really hope DC live streams at least some panels. Ryan B, I don't know if you guess what? We told ourselves we weren't going to talk about D23, but guess what? I'm going to for one hot minute. D23 was streaming some of their panels, I think, on their main stage. Much like they took like a cue from Star Wars Celebration, where like, hey, they streamed the live, the grand live, the main stage, all through the weekend. They did the same thing, and on Saturday, I do believe. I don't know if they have replays on. I think they have replays on of all the panels on Disney Plus. Believe it or not, they did a 60th anniversary panel of Spider-Man, and they went across everything across the board on Spider-Man, even the stuff I thought for sure Disney was going to say, don't you dare talk about those Sony movies. And they actually dug deep on the Sony movies and just other people and the Toho stuff from Japanese Spider-Man. They really went into it all the way from the very beginning of Spider-Man to what's coming up in December. Like this December.
Well, at this point, after their latest movie, I don't think they can say boo-hoo to the Sony movies anymore.
I don't think they can. But yeah, so do check that out. And because you've said because of some of this, I would love to see like the Jim Lee and that Superman panel and Batwheels now streamed. I think I can do without Pennyworth. I don't want to start at episode 1, season 3. I feel like I need to know I need to find out what Civil War he was just in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, SoCal Shaolin. He is from California. Great toy hunter. Great dude. Yeah. Hi, Ryan and Lexi. Checking out your show, dropping a sub. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciated. Yeah. Hope you enjoy our other shows when you get a chance. Yeah. Watch some of them. I think we're great. I think we're really entertaining. John, once again, even in non-romance focused superhero stories, if you can nail the emotion, connection, and weight of the interpersonal stuff between scuffles, it makes the stakes and of the big fights hit harder. I absolutely agree. Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah, that's thank you everyone for a busy chat tonight. No, we really super appreciate it. I just wanted to let's do. We got time. I don't care. We have time.
Do it.
The Batman Day is this Saturday, the 17th. We talked about it a bit last week. They're replaying. I guess they're dropping back in theaters for one day. Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I am still hoping they're going to drop some official news. It's too early for like a first still or costume look of the Joker 2, but I don't think they've ever actually officially announced the Batman 2, even though they're the writers are working on it. They state that they are.
I don't think they did do an actual announcement of it.
Yeah. And I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll drop a trailer for one of the Batman shows coming to HBO. I don't know if that's been worked on or not. I actually have no idea where any of those are. We just keep hearing about them, like the Arkham Asylum show, the Penguin show, but we haven't seen it. Yeah, so we don't really know.
I don't think they really know either, if we're being honest.
I guess that's fair enough. Maybe they'll drop the first trailer for The Flash. No, they kind of already dropped one last year. DC
they dropped a teaser.
Yeah. Again, I don't know when that movie's supposed to drop either. That feels like I still feel.
Did they push that back to spring of 23 or something crazy?
Yeah, and Aquaman even further back now. It's weird. I don't know what they're doing. Honestly,
no one does. I don't think they know what they're doing.
Warner Brothers Discovery. I know that guy turned the job down and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So give us a call. We're right here. We'll get
Let
this all
us
sorted.
save DC Comics. The
Yeah,
two of us to this side. We
got this. We got this.
we
We'll
got this.
bring in the right people. We got this.
Yeah.
Trust me. Absolutely, right? So, okay, I think that's it. Any final thoughts from you, Lexi? I just said mine. Mine's Batman Day. Everyone go out and support it. Go to your local comic book shop, buy some Batman comics. That's it from me. Lexi, go for it. Send us off. Send us home.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone out there in Gotham for listening to us, being part of this. Thank you for being part of the chat. Make sure to hop in. We will be back Wednesday next week with possible watch alongs in between. So make sure you're coming to our comments, our Instagram, anywhere else. Let us know what you want to see, what you want us to talk about. You hear some big news during the week, make sure we heard it too. Or if there's a comic out there you want us to review. I always love, there's always just so much news. And when the news is slower, we try and touch on the comics as well. Robin versus Batman versus Robin #1 dropped, which was a lot of fun if you had a chance to read that. But that's about it. So good night, Gotham. Thank you all so much for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye.